It was a backroom political deal. Barack Obama ignored the law and issued a special rule. He exempted Congress from all the pain of Obamacare and gave them a huge taxpayer-funded subsidy that no one else gets.
Strong words in that spot there. A backroom deal, part of a new ad campaign for the conservative group Citizens United. They're working with Louisiana Senator David Vitter to change the rule that allows members of Congress and members of the administration to accept subsidies under Obamacare. Senator David Vitter with me now, along with the president of Citizens United, David Bossie. How you doing, gentlemen?
Good, Bill.
David's
Great
here
to be with you.
at the table today. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
What do you want?
I want to vote so we undo this illegal rule that exempts members of Congress and their staff from all of the pain of Obamacare. I want Washington to live by the same rules as it imposes on everybody else. That should be the first rule of American democracy.
Sometimes this is confusing because, well, Bob Corker was on our show last week. He said, Bill, what you're talking about is not true.
Yeah.
I'm putting myself and my entire staff in Obamacare January 1.
And
what's the difference?
The difference is they get a huge taxpayer-funded subsidy that no other American going to the exchanges of that income level gets.
So the difference is the subsidy.
Two differences. Number one, some congressional staff are getting outright exempted, not even going to the exchanges. Then other members and staff are going to the exchanges, but they're getting a huge taxpayer-funded subsidy that no other American gets.
All right, let me come back to that. David, why are you involved in this?
We saw that Senator Vitter was fighting a fight all by himself, really, against the establishment, against the administration, and we felt that let's not have the politicians in Washington deciding this once again for themselves, but let's take it to the American people. And so we called Senator Vitter and said, let's try an ad campaign to take it over the heads of Washington, D.C., directly to the American people so that people can go online, livebyyourlaws.com, sign a petition to support Senator Vitter.
Well, why do you think these exemptions came out in the first place? I mean, well, why the waivers? You got members of Congress who are millionaires.
Because Obamacare is a bust and Washington doesn't want to live by it.
Do you think it's, think the law is bad and the coverage is bad and they don't want that?
This is important for two reasons. First of all, just fundamental fairness. Washington should live by everything it imposes on America in the same way. But secondly, you know, there's something to be said when the chef has to eat his own cooking. Often the cooking gets better. And if Washington had to live by everything it passes on America, things would change, including Obamacare.
What do you think of that, David?
I think that's exactly right. We need to have Washington live by the laws they pass on everyone else. This is not a country where it's okay for an elite class of people to live by one set of rules and the people to live by another. That's not what we're about.
What would you say to your Senate colleague, Bob Corker, a Republican? It says that this is not a bill. You're
I would say he's misleading people because we are not being treated the same as everybody else. Yes, members and some staff are going to the exchanges, but nobody else in America gets this huge taxpayer-funded subsidy. Nobody else at our income levels gets that.
Dick Durbin in the Senate, a Democrat, and other Democratic senators say you can have your vote, but you actually don't want the vote.
No, I want to vote. What they're demanding is that I cannot bring it up again. I cannot push for any other version of this for the rest of the Congress. It's a gag rule. It is a completely unprecedented gag rule. Nobody is required to say that, to do that, and I'm not going to do that.
So if the vote came up and they took the vote, you would have to agree that would not come up again in the interference of any other bill.
And that is unprecedented to say you can't have the senators' right to debate, to propose amendments for the rest of this Congress.
That's not democracy. And that's why we said, let's go over their heads and let's go straight to the American people. Let's have the American people have their voices heard. Obamacare is a dismal failure. The rollout is a failure. The coverage is a failure. And now Washington should have to live with it just like everyone else.
All right. There are hearings again today in a couple of minutes. We're going to watch this in a moment here. Kathleen Sebelius comes back tomorrow.
Right.
Why do you think this is having the problems that so many are seeing play out in real time?
Because I think there are fundamental problems with the law at its core. You know, Bill, a lot of the coverage obviously has been about the rollout and the website, and there are problems there. But I think there are even more core fundamental problems than that. And the biggest one, the central lie of the whole debate, was when the president said, if you like your health plan, you can keep it. That's just not true. And we now know that a majority of Americans will lose their previous coverage.
David, I'll give you the last word.
I just feel that government is not capable of doing anything this large. Taking over 1/6 of the economy has always been something that conservatives have warned against. Now we're seeing that come to a reality.
It's been an embarrassment so far. LiveByYourLaws.com. David Bossie, thank you.
Thank
Senator
you.
David Vitter, thanks to you.
Thank
as
you,
well.
Bill.
All right. Gentlemen, thanks. Martha.